Yeah, would you like to look ahead to the second leg?
Oh, I would love to. No. I mean, the obvious one you've talked about, of course, with Real Madrid and Santiago Bernabeu. I just want to warn the Real Madrid fans a bit because Bayern, as they have in Musiala and Sané, top counter-attacking players. And also Harry Kane is a good counter-attack player because then he goes a bit deeper. He takes more than 9.5. He's more like a playmaker kind of player. They showed at Arsenal as well. They did a good game. And the two different phases now of Bayern, one in the Bundesliga and one in the Champions League. So this game is not gone at all. I think that Bayern still got a chance to knock Real Madrid out.
And they'd learned their lessons, Lewis, wouldn't it? You look at Manchester City, who were all about trying to pass them to death in that second leg. Bayern, just run at them. Just get your good, quick players to run at this Real Madrid defence and try and cause some havoc.
Yeah, exactly, because physically Real Madrid is not a team who can handle 90 minutes at top speed. And Bayern, yes, Bayern can bring you that high intensity, that energy in the last third. They got players on the field and also on the bench that can bring those 1v1 situations, put you under pressure every single time. And that's something that Real Madrid doesn't like. Every single time that they have the ball, they were trying to slow it down, to keep the control, because you don't want a crazy game with quick transition and open game. You want that when you are at the back controlling, sitting down, low block, and then quick transitions to Vinicius Juniors and Rodrigo. But when you go against them with players on the wide areas trying to run to the space, putting under pressure, that's something that Real Madrid doesn't like. They struggle with that. And if at the Bernabeu, they're going to try to open up, try to go and show to the crowd that they are at the Bernabeu, they don't want to play, dominated the game, they're going to have problems because Jan just mentioned, you got players, Musiala, that never stop to think about just grab the ball and face you. He never put the ball down. The only thing he's got in his head is going forward. That's something that for Real Madrid is not easy to handle because in the middle of the party, they don't have players who can run during 90 minutes.
What I find interesting as well is the approach of Carlo Ancelotti in this second leg, because we mentioned that Thomas Tuchel changed Musiala and Leroy Sané and changed the size, and he made the change at halftime. So he made his tactical changes and his technical changes. Well, so did Ancelotti. When Real Madrid went down, instead of having Vini Jr. and Rodrigo in a more central position, all of a sudden you find Rodrigo all the way on the right-hand side and Vini on the left-hand side. And the isolation against Joshua Kimmich and isolation against Noussair Mazraoui. And say, all right, well, let's see if you can handle this, guys. But in order for that to be successful and effective for Real Madrid, then Jude Bellingham has to be a presence coming out of the midfield. And today, Ancelotti made a big decision. They're down in the game. And he said, Jude, who has been his best player this season, come and sit on the bench. That's a big call to make. But I think it speaks to the lack of performance or underwhelming performance and disappointing performance of Jude Bellingham, but it also speaks to the need of the team at the moment and that Carlo Ancelotti is willing to say, no. We got to change something, and how are we going to change it? How are we going to impact the game? Brahim Diaz has been good. Let's put him on the field. So if indeed they're going to play Vini wide on the left and Rodrigo wide on the right, that central position has to be occupied by Jude Bellingham and the best version of Jude Bellingham, early season Jude Bellingham. If that's the case, it's difficult for Bayern Munich to address those runs because they have difficulty tracking runners coming out of the midfield. It's one of the problems that they have in that midfield area, even with Konrad Laimer, Goretzka, Guerreiro, whoever plays in that area. Tracking runners out of the midfield is an issue, and then the center backs have issues recognizing those runs coming from late.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, should be a cracker. Still, I'm at risk of upsetting a man in an Austrian hotel. I'm going to do it because he's a few thousand miles away. I think Bayern have clearly superseded what this season was going to be all about for them. As we got into sort of January, February, certainly into March, it was damage limitation. And at the moment, it can be a fair bit better than that. But I just think they're going to run their course. And I think these deficiencies that they have at the back are going to be exposed in the Bernabeu. I don't think it's going to be a walkover, but I think Real Madrid are going to go through still.
Yeah, and is there any sort of regret amongst the Bayern Munich hierarchy that maybe they pulled the trigger too soon on Thomas Tuchel?
No, not at all. I mean, opposite. They try now to go backwards and say, there's so many things Tuchel is doing wrong. He can't develop players. He doesn't like young people. He only wants finished article. That's what Uli Hoeneß did for fun on Friday, as you know. The latest is now that Ralf Rangnick will be the new coach of Bayern Munich. I spoke to a guy very close now just before I came on. Closer and closer to sign a deal. Maybe on Thursday that will be officially announced. So Ralf Rangnick will come in, 65 years of age. He's the national coach of Austria at the moment. He wants to decide everything at Bayern, which can be very interesting when they have Christoph Rein, Max Eberl, Dresden, Heiner, Hoeneß and Rummenigge.
But if they go on and win the Champions League, Jan, there's no, oops, we should have maybe kept this
We
guy.
did it again.
No, not at all. Thomas Tuchel, this was the deal. This is what they decided to do. And mind you, they did this at a time where it was very, very bad. The alternative was to fire him, but they didn't want an interim coach. Then they wanted Alonso, and Alonso said, no, I stay. Mrs. Hoeneß said, that shows that Alonso has character, did Uli Hoeneß say. And then Nagelsmann said, no, I don't want to come back to the same people who fired me while I was in a ski holiday. And now they're going for Ralf Rangnick as the new coach. And Thomas Tuchel will just think that what happened at the end of the season when they told me that I can't develop players and I maybe win the Champions League for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, his stock obviously was quite low at that stage. Manchester United.
How did I manage to squeeze them in?
Hey, there you go. There you are. Rangnick at Bayern and Thomas Tuchel going the other way. Here we go then. Luis, who is going to be in the final?
You really want my answer?
Well, I got your honest opinion. I don't know if we're going to get that.
It cannot be Barcelona, Luis. It cannot be.
Or Atletico Madrid.
Honestly, guys, it's very difficult. I mean, I can think about it, I can analyze and everything. Right now, I think that the Real Madrid is favorite because they're going to play at the Bernabeu. But that's it. Not because I think that they are playing better, not because I think they got more talent or more quality or more idea about what to do against these Bayern Munich. That's the only thing that this Real Madrid makes me feel that they are favorites. We've seen so far in the past 5 years how Real Madrid has been making comebacks when they play at home, how they manage the situation, that mentality, that background, that history of this team kind of influence what the opponent is doing at the stadium. So that's the only thing, because if it's about football, you guys watch Real Madrid with me every single weekend. You know that the Real Madrid doesn't have the same arguments. When you go against them, Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo are the only ones who can provide something different, who can make this team go forward. But apart from that, you don't see a pattern of play. You don't see a team that is got an idea, a plan, or something special that can make go through. I think Bayern has got more options to bring something different on the field, but you play at the Bernabeu, so yeah.
Right. Politician Luis Garcia, who is going to be in the final? Who's going through?
Is there an answer there?
It's not an answer. Why you put me under pressure? I don't want to say Real Madrid. You don't see.
Yeah,
They don't see that it's difficult.
They said it. That's it. That's
We'll edit that at that part.
exactly.
Said Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid, definitely. 100%, no doubt. Bayern haven't got a chance. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Right then, Fjortoft, what do you say?
I would say it's going to be a replay of the 2013 final at Wembley. It's going to be Dortmund against Bayern. And the reason is that Dortmund have that team that used to play in the Bundesliga. They've been told to go on holiday, and the Champions League team will play tomorrow against PSG, and they will go through over 2 games. So it's going to be an all-German final.
But what is it with these people that cover the jet? What's wrong with you? You're not.
What did I do? I said Real Madrid.
Did you not get the memo about this? Well, no, anybody that's covering the Bundesliga, it seems to me that they've been obviously bought.
Yes.
Clearly bought. Germany.
Right. Just one last thing on this. Jules is here to talk about PSG. Julian, you were at the game at the Allianz Arena. We've talked about it a lot. What would you like to add?
I mean, I didn't hear what you said, obviously.
It was brilliant. It was fantastic analysis. Jan waffled on for a while.
I'm sure it was. I just thought it was an amazing atmosphere, to be fair, but we know, Jan knows as well, Ali as well, when you go to the Allianz or when you watch those games, the atmosphere was incredible. Obviously, the moment of genius from Kroos in the first half and then from Vini in the second half kept Real Madrid in it, really. But I thought Thomas Tuchel, the changes that he made at halftime, we saw Leroy Sané coming out of the dressing room really early at halftime to go and warm up on the pitch on the right-hand side where Bayern would attack, and clearly announcing the change in tactics. And that worked because that turned the games really around for Tuchel and Bayern. But then Real Madrid are Real Madrid, as we always say. They've got something extra special. So the second leg is going to be epic next week.
Where are you, Jules?
Sorry?
Where are you? Are you in a hotel
I'm in the
room?
hotel.
No, it looks like a lot
It's not
smaller than
as nice
Jan's.
hotel as Jan.
Jan's is much plusher.
He's in the
Louis, I
attic
know,
of the
I don't
hotel
understand
room.
budget,
In the
though.
attic.
Well, he's on our budget.
And then Lewis is in the Royal Palace.
Yes.
I actually think
Royal.
I actually now thinking that he's been detained in Brunei.
Do you think so? Through sleep deprivation. Jules, I've asked everyone else. You've actually got the deciding vote. It's 2-2 as to who's going through.
Yeah, 2-2 I said for the first leg as well. I think Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, I just can't see this Bayern team as good as they can be at times, and as good as Musiala and Sané can be when they go one-on-one with their defenders like we saw today in the second half. I still don't think that they can go to Madrid and win over there. Even if they play for the draw to go to pens, I'm just not sure they can do that. So I'll go for Real Madrid once more.
Oh, Jan's angry.
How was it 2-2 going into Jules' vote?
Because you said 2. You're Real Madrid and those 2 were Bayern Munich.
No. Luis said Real Madrid. Did
he?
Kind of. Cynic route. Cynic route, Real Madrid. Cynic route.
I didn't say that.
Luis, go and get some sleep. Thank you very much, mate. Much
Thank you very much,
appreciated.
guys.
Just a reminder.
6:30 a.m.
6 a.m.
He's going to go play golf now. That's
Pick
great.
it up.
Real Madrid are in action, of course. Good double-header for you on Saturday, actually. Barcelona taking on Girona. Before that, Real Madrid are in action as they take on Cadiz at the Santiago Bernabeu.